How's everybody doing today? I was about to ask who's first in the chat, but then I remembered, oh, it was me. Who was second in the chat? Which is basically first because, you know, of course I'm here already. Stereo Decor, hey, techno people, what's up? Hello, Farning. How's it going today? Electro Techno. Oh, right, that's right. You say, I love Aux 88. Now I have it in my head. What's up, Joel? Riquelme? Jan on his feet. Waiting room for Sexy John. Ooh. How nice of you. What's up, Steve Like? Fellow producers and lovers of music around the world, and you're in Belgium. That's right. GOM. JNDRK. How do I say that? John Dirk? Get wild? Come on, Live Society. It's not even October yet, and you're already talking about Halloween. That's enough. Camel B, AK, The Influence. Hello, hello. Got a handful of people in here. Christian Wyborg. Hello. Hopefully we'll ramp it up a little bit more. I want people to hear about what we have in store today, because everybody can participate. It's going to be good. Let's bring it in. What's up, everybody? John Selway here. If you didn't know already, this is Selway Techno Saturday, brought to you by 343 Labs Music Production School here in New York City and in Berlin and online and out there in the universe. It's been quite a week. We've had a lot going on here at the school. What is up with this stand? Oh my gosh. I think I need to tighten it up. It keeps falling. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I've talked about our 1-year program before, and we just finished our first cohort, and we had, there are live performances. We did 3 events at different venues in Brooklyn, and we had a industry summit where we had 15, 16, 17 industry professionals come in to speak with the students, do one-on-ones, get feedback, talk about, where to go from here, what to do in the future, making plans, getting advice, all of that stuff. And that went great. We had our first graduation with our first cohort, and then an opening party for our new space here in the building. We've got our 2 spaces, the studio's almost there, it's set up. We're listening to music. We got these head midfields that are just amazing sounding in the room. The acoustics are good in the room. I am psyched about that. Once we get set up for video and streaming downstairs, just you wait. You're going to get to see it. It's going to be good. I hope to do some sessions in the new studio here on the live stream. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Anyway, yeah, we had a kind of an open house party for people to come in, check out the space, for our friends to come in, have a few drinks. It's been crazy. It's been great. I'm pretty exhausted. Anyway, that's what is up with 343 Labs right now. And, we'd love to have you as part of our community. So you know what to do. Look at those links below. Find out what our courses are happening, what we're doing here in New York and Berlin or online. And, maybe you'll do a class with me someday, right? Synthesis or sound design. I sometimes do an online just techno course. I've promised doing electro course. We can definitely do it. So enough about that. Let's talk about what we're doing today. And last time I mentioned having my little discussion with Anthony Rother about sort of setting a structure and getting things done, because he's really prolific, right? That guy gets stuff done. He gets releases out. He puts out at least an album every year, and I figured he'd be a good person to talk about that, because I've been thinking about it. Other than my duties here at 343 Labs and teaching and my family and everything, I make a lot of music here on the stream, and I even make music in class with the students, and I have all this unfinished music. I've got an album or 2 probably of stuff that could be finished. So, you can kind of join me on my journey for the rest of this year and the beginning of next year to get some of this stuff out, right? And so setting some goals, making plans, meeting the deadlines and making things happen. It's a big part of my job here at 343 Labs as well, to get the space done and all the things that we've had to do. We had to really push. So I need to do the same for myself. And coming up with projects, scheduling release dates, reaching out to record labels, whatever it takes, and also including you guys. So, we do feedback sessions, and we did a little bit of a remix thing on the Discord before, but I'm combining the 2. Basically, that's what we're going to do today. Is we're going to listen to an old track of mine. Some of you might know it, and I want to invite you guys to do a remix. Right? You have to join our Discord if you're not already, and get into the Selway feedback channel. I just posted right before the stream a little message about the challenge and the samples and what the rules are. We haven't set a deadline yet, but I thought I'd talk to you guys. What do you think is a reasonable amount of time to get it done? And I want to have everybody do a remix, submit the remix. We'll pick, from those. We'll do a feedback session. I want to get some guests on to do it with me because, I always like to do that. And we'll pick some to be featured on the release. And, either we can just self-release it. We can do it on Bandcamp or whatever. I also have digital distribution. Or, maybe I'll talk to people I know at labels and make it a bigger deal. Or, pie in the sky, but maybe even of cutting vinyl will be amazing. Although, that's hard to do. So can't promise you that, but I can promise a digital release with like DJ promo and a little bit of marketing. And, that's what the winners get. Maybe we can like make t-shirts or something fun like that. So yeah, I just thought it would be good to I'm putting myself out there. It's my music that you're remixing, and I'm promising you that we're going to release it. So I've got to come through, and that's going to set a goal for me to meet. What do you think? Is that a good idea? What are you guys talking about? Josh Holliday's complaining about can't log into Discord anymore. Mac OS X is out of date. Okay. You can just do it in your browser. You don't need to use the Discord app. I don't even use the Discord app. I use my browser because it's, I don't need that another app on my hard drive. My hard drive is really full. Yeah, here's the post on Discord. Here, I'm going to read this for those of you who aren't on the Discord yet, right? This is going to say again what I just said, basically. Hey, everyone. I'm doing a Techno Electro remix challenge for an old track of mine from the late 90s, early 2000s, Semblance Factor, Autofreak, originally released on Abe Duquesne's Tension Records. Vocal parts are there. They're available to download from the Discord, from the 343 Labs Discord in the Selway feedback channel. And no other sounds are available other than the vocal. Right? I recorded there's two versions of it that I did, straight to DAT, and that's all. I have the vocal samples and no other parts. That's it. So that's part of the challenge, right? Take these vocals, take these acapellas, do something totally new, recreate musical parts from the original, or you could even sample parts of the original. And whatever creative ideas you have within the bounds of these rules, which are going to be, it has to be electro, like real electro, and you know what I'm talking about, or techno, any subgenre, but that complements the style and vibe of the originals, right? So I'm going to say not to, use your judgment, right? I don't want to hold you back too much, but keep it within the bound. If you guys who watch the stream, you know what kind of music I'm into, So keep that in mind when you're doing your remix. And you must use the entire vocal at least once in your track. You're welcome to chop it up, resynthesize it, granularize it, do crazy stuff, right? But I want to hear at least the whole, there's like one verse basically, right? It's 4 lines of, and you got to use all of it at least once. You could, if you want to do an instrumental version too of your remix, that's fine in addition, but I want to hear that vocal used creatively. And I want to hear the whole thing at least once in your track, in your remix. You can use AI stem separation on the original. I haven't posted the original files yet, but I'd prefer you don't, honestly, to use AI stem separation because it kind of it's almost like cheating a little bit. I mean, it can be good, right? If we didn't have the acapella available, we would have had to use it. But if you want to use AI stem separation to try to tease out some of the original sounds, go ahead, but I want you to be really creative with your sound design. Do something different with it. Don't just loop it the way it is. Change it, resynthesize it, granularize it, put crazy effects on it, chop it up. I don't care. I want to hear you be really creative with that, whatever you do. And anyway, like I said, we're going to have a live stream. We're going to have special guests to go over all your remixes. And we don't need to decide on it now. But have a think about how long is it going to take you guys? How much do you need? A week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months? I want you all to have as much time as possible to make it as good as you can, right? So let's stop talking. Let's listen. Let's actually hear these tracks. I know a few of you out there might have actually heard this before. And again, this is something from the late 90s and early 2000s. I did 2 versions of it. I came up with the idea for the lyrics. And here is the very first version, which I ended up calling a remix because I did another version after it, which I thought, okay, no, this is the main one. But it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like two versions of the same song that I did. Let's have a listen. I did kind of a quick demo master on this because, I don't know, I just wanted to pump it up a little bit. I'm just going to hang out here and sway in my chair while we listen. Glad you guys like the idea of this project. Nice to have you back, Acid Bat. Josh Holiday says a month. Okay, we'll do a month. If anyone has any disagrees and you want more time, I think a month is a good amount of time for you guys to do a banging remix. Here comes the vocal.
I turn you on. My Autofreak. Inside your mechanism. Every night.
All right, Lie Society says a month with 31 days in it. All right, you guys have 31 days to get your remixes done. I haven't listened to this through all the way from beginning to end in years, many years. DJ Khaleesi, it takes me 10 years to do a remix. I was influenced by a bunch of different things for this version of the track. And this actually contains samples of an 80s band. Pretty, somewhat obscure kind of new wave rock band.
I turn you on.
And that's one of the reasons why I did another version of it that was 100% original, which we'll listen to next. I'm trying to remember what instruments I used to do this besides I had their Akai sampler S3000, I think, or X3000 XL maybe. Had a Nord lead, a Nord Rack 2 actually, or whatever version was out in the late 90s. Which Nord module was out in the late 90s? Some of the drums are a Yamaha drum machine. I want to say like an RY30 or RM50 is the rack version of it. I think it's the rack version of it, if I get the names right. I had an Ensoniq ESQ-M doing some of the atmospheric sounds. But all the melodic synth stuff is the Nord. And I remember I used a ring modulator on the vocal. All right. And then that big chord stab is one of the samples from the 80s band. I'm not even going to tell you guys what it is now because I don't want you to go and like find what I sampled and resample it again. I want you to not do that. We don't want to do any copyright infringement like I did on this version. All right. Almost done. I'm going to let it play out. Why not?
Inside your Techno, yes sir.
The main kind of riff, the main melody. Well, there's two, right? There's the plucky one on top, and then there's the sustained one. This one. Oh, the one that comes in a minute. Was inspired by another, not a copy of, but I took some inspiration from Suicide Commando. You guys know that? Similar vibe, but different notes. Yeah. Oh, and look, here's this. You can sample this sound all by itself. Nice that I left that in there at the end for future remixers like you. Cool. So what do you think of that? That's like, you know, it's electro. It's a little new wave. It's very late 90s, like when the whole electro, Italo, new wave, synth, disco resurgence happened, and all the people who were into techno like me, we just kind of shifted gears a little bit and got into all this 80s stuff and incorporating that into our music. In New York, you know, they called it electro clash, which is, I don't know, not everybody loved that term, but that was the era, like Fisher Spooner and all of that. And then when Hell was doing Gigolo, and that was at its peak. So anyway, that's the era of this. And then I did. Let's listen to the heavy version. This one is the one that I've had. This one is the one I've had interest in. Like DJs have asked me for. Do you have this digital? Like it's not available anywhere. And you know, I made this little demo master to share with some friends so they could play it out. And this one's, you know, sounds somewhat contemporary again in terms of techno. Let's check it out. Oh, shit. There we go. that was awkward. DJ Cali Z. All right, behave. DJ Cali Z wants to see me dressed like Fisher Spooner. Not my thing. But man, they used to do a great show, didn't they? Outfits and dancers, and it was art. Acid Bat says when the goths were getting into electro. Yeah, a little bit of that. There's still that gray area between like industrial and EBM and gothy kind of stuff and electro and techno. There's a great, I love a lot of that stuff actually that exists between those worlds.
I turn you on.
This one's just so crazy on a big system. I remember the first time I got to play it in a club and I was like floored. I had no idea. I just heard it in headphones in my room. And it did not prepare me for what happened.
I turn you on.
I love it. Mike Otandria. What are you saying? That's a thick waveform. Yeah, it's pretty limited. Let's zoom in on a little bit. There you go. That looks better, right?
I turn you on. My automatic freak. I turn you on.
Where's follow?
My automatic freak.
Forgetting where things are in the live menu. Never mind. I'll just zoom out. Make it bigger and zoom out. And then it looks like a brick again. Yes, Camel P. Svenve played it. That was a good little boost to have some big DJs play this one. So, Callie C makes a good comment here. It's weird stuff on a small stereo, can leave you unimpressed, but when you hear it at a club, it takes on new life. Exactly. This one completely jumped out of the speakers in a way that I did not expect. So yeah, this is pretty dark and driving. I could see, if it's your thing, I could see somebody doing a modern hard techno raving version of this easily. Give it a shot if that's your thing. I could see like a hard groove version of this, like a heavy hard groove version of this with lots of drums. I think this transition, this riser sound in here is the ESQM. It's a really weird digital sound that I made on the Ensonics. Actually, I think it might, I might not even have made it. It might have been like a modified preset or something. It's really, really piercing. If you're tripping, it's like a nail through your forehead. It's like, it's stimulating. Nail through your forehead is pretty dark. I'm sorry. And it's got this cosmic vocoder thing. I wish I had that separately. I didn't record it separately. All right. Camel Fee knows this. Thank you for calling it a classic. I'm old enough to have done something that could be construed that way. Thank you. Wow. I get exhausted when I listen to this. I forget to breathe. Where's my water? Yes. All right. We made it all the way through. There's a little bit at the end here you can sample as well. That zappy bass is definitely a Nord. Oh. Nice. Again, the forethought of having an isolated element at the end of the track for future remixers. You got that little vocoder at the end you could use. All right. So those are the two original versions. It's fun to hang out and listen through them with you guys. I wanted to make sure everybody knows what they're getting into. And I will make these available for download. I'm thinking about, like I said, I already put up the link for the vocal sample in the Discord. But I'm wondering if I might take it up a notch and do some kind of sign up to get the original tracks. I don't just want to put the raw full tracks out there for download for everybody. I want people who have officially signed up, right? I don't mind having, I already put the vocals out there. That's, but just thinking about that now in front of you guys. if you're, let's just put it this way. If you're on the Discord and you're already in there and you want to grab the acapella, do it now, because I think I might, now that I consider it for a little bit more time, do like an official sign up where you got to like put in your email and then I'll send you a link or something like that, just so it's a little more protected rather than having this freely available on the internet everywhere. So anyway, but for now, go grab that vocal if you want to participate. Yeah. So check the Discord link in the description. Join. I think that when you join that, it'll take you right to the Selway feedback channel. And then, my most recent post there has the rules and the link to download the acapella. And it doesn't say the deadline yet, but we just set that. I'm going to give you guys 31 days from today to get that remix done. And we'll schedule a feedback session where we go over all of the submissions around that. It could be, and it's probably going to, it depends on how the calendar goes. Maybe I should have looked at the calendar before we set on that number. So, okay, take 31 days with a grain of salt. But we'll try to pick the Saturday closest to a month from now, right? It's going to be 4 Saturdays from now. That's what you've got, whatever that is. That's 28 days. Okay, so I can't promise you 31 days. Where is my mind? I should have realized that already. Okay, glad you like the track. Seems like people in the chat are saying they like it, and I'm happy about that. I'm going to quickly play you. This is just for fun. This is not part of the I'm not going to give you this. But I used to do a little side project with a couple of good friends of mine that were my roommates back then. And this sounds so like juvenile now. But we called ourselves the Responsible Space Playboys. It's funny. We were trying to be like nice guy players, but just as a joke. It wasn't like that's how we lived our lives. We just thought that was a funny concept for a group. And we did when we made music, it was more like jacking party music or breaks or like Chicago influenced kind of house. Anyway, we did this remix, and this is like basically like an illegal mashup. It's got tons of completely uncleared samples in it, so I can't play it for too long, but I thought it would be fun to hear it for a second. Got kind of a Baltimore club vibe to the beats. I can't play this too long, like I said. All right. All right. That's enough of that. What time is it? It's about the halfway point of the show. I actually see I've got an important phone call from a family member coming in here. I'm going to hit the be right back for a couple of minutes, and then we'll continue with this journey. Well, actually, I'm going to bring out the acapella and maybe try play around with them and start my own new remix of Autofreak. Nice one. See you in a few. All right, we're back. Excuse the interruption. Things are okay, though. Happy to report everything's all right. So here we are at Selway's Techno Saturdays on 343 TV. There it is. Brought to you by 343 Labs Music Production School in New York City and in Berlin. And I was saying earlier how it's been so hectic here at the school because of all the events and the graduation and etc. and finishing up the new space. I really can't wait to show you guys. As soon as I can, I'm going to set up cameras down in the new studio. It should be fun. There'll be no green screen down there. You're going to actually get to see the room I'm in. Here it just looks like a kitchen behind me. So anyway, what were we doing before we got interrupted? Right, we're going to check. I have the acapella parts here so we can hear them in isolation. And I don't know. I'm just going to fool around for the rest of now that the first half of the show was like the main point of today was to share the music with you, share the project, the challenge, and to invite you guys to participate. And now what do? Let's listen to the vocal samples. I always start feeling weird when I hear my voice like this in front of people. Anyway, I get over it, John.
I turn you on.
Whoa. So that's 1.
My automatic freak.
2.
Inside your mechanism.
3.
Every night.
All right. So that's it. That's all you get to do your remix. And I was thinking, like, if I'm going to do a new mix of this, is it going to be very electro or very techno or a mix of both? And I feel like the harder version, it's techno, but it also has kind of an electro soundscape to it, almost even just slightly EBM industrial a little bit, but definitely spacey and ravey at the same time. It's a bunch of things. And then the original is much more 80s sounding, but not like electro-funk electro. It's a little bit. It's got that kind of stiff, straight electro-funk kind of feel, but it also is a little more rocky sounding because of the samples from the track. I'm not going to tell you what it was from. And I know that's a challenge in itself. Any of you who know that music and are old enough or know enough about like obscure late 70s, early 80s rock electro fusion, if you can figure out what that is, then that's a separate challenge. You'll get a special acknowledgement if whoever finds out what that is. All right. So I'm just going to start making a beat and laying out these tracks. It's kind of annoying to work with vocals like this, actually. Like I wish it was one long stem. Why? Okay, there it is. And I need to figure out a tempo. What's the original tempo? You can do whatever tempo you want. These are not warped. I'm going to go with, let's just see. I'm going to set 111 here, and let's see what live comes up with for a tempo. Take your time. Warping. And did it get it? Yeah, it looks pretty straight. Looks like the segment BPM is, oh man, it did halftime. It did 66 beats per minute. All right. That's wrong. Let's hear what that sounds like. So it's whatever that is times 2. Let's time stretch that. Okay, so the original BPM is 133. Oh, you could make a lock groove out of that. That's great. All right, now it's playing 133 down at 66. That's already like we're going to do a trap version. Where are the wubs? All right, let's fix that. Let's go back up to 133. I'm going to do 133.33 because decimal points are annoying. All right, so whatever that tempo is should be the correct tempo for the original vocal samples, which, you know, are not warped, I think. Or are they? Nope. All right, I don't want to listen to that too much. I don't want to get too inspired by the original. I want it to be different. I think that's the first thing in my mind is if I'm going to do a new version of this, it needs to be completely 2024 Selway and not whatever I was thinking about in 1999 or whenever it was. So, but anyway, we can still at least start with a good tempo, just so the vocals are kind of in time correctly before I start messing them up or before I warp them. And all right, let's make a new audio track. And I want to point this out for those of you who may or may not hear it, but the beginning of the vocal sample is not the first beat. It's a pickup. It starts ahead of. Or actually, yeah, it's kind of it's different. The phrasing is not square. It's kind of in between the beats. I think this is an important thing for people to figure out. Like if someone gives you an acapella to do a remix of, sometimes it's hard to tell, especially if the vocalist doesn't start on a downbeat. Sometimes it's hard to tell where it's supposed to sit on the beat. So let's give myself a beat to play with. I'll do a little kick drum. Use the DS kick. This one I'm just going to put in the session view. I'll make a loop.
All right.
Oh. All right, I'm just going with whatever happens. I can always change it later. Let's make that kick a little bit tighter, less boomy, less sort of techno-y and more sharp. A little more 808-like, maybe. Sharp. I think I want that. I want sharp, tight drums today. Let's do a snare. I got to get inspired by the beat. That's another thing to think about when you're doing a remix is like, what's going to set the tone for the whole thing? You know? You guys still happening in the chat there? You still talking? It's been a few minutes. Did everybody like take a bathroom break when I went to the Be Right Back screen? Feel free to chime in and give me some ideas. But yeah, I just thought I'd go through a little bit of the process of starting a remix, right? And in this case, I'm trying to do it with something specific in mind at the same time as I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do while I'm on the live stream with you. We'll do our best. All right. Okay. Let's do something. I don't usually choose a clang noise for a snare, but I'm going to do it now, and maybe we'll layer it with a regular snare or a clap. Oh, that's like an 808 thing. That's kind of cool. I already like it. I'm not sure about the pitch. It is really bright. All right, I'm just going to go with that for now. All right. So the phrasing of it, it's actually not, it's not on the downbeat, and it's not a pickup. It's not right before the downbeat. It's halfway through the bar. So it's starting on the 8th note before the 3rd beat, right? So if I'm going to lay this down right here.
My automat.
See?
My automatic freak.
Right, so the freak lands on the downbeat of the next bar. If you do it like that, you've got it right. And I made a big point of asking you guys to using the vocal, the full vocal, at least once in your remix. And I also want to make sure you get the phrasing and the timing right. I'm going to be, since it's my voice, and it's not a song. It's like one short little verse, right? It's just like a little hook, but I want to make sure you get the timing right and the feel right. Because if you put it here,
My automatic freak.
that just sounds wrong to me. And maybe it doesn't sound wrong to you. It's just I'm used to it the other way. And, surprise me, I guess. Maybe if you come up with a way of doing the vocal timing on this that's not the original, but it works somehow with your musical idea, I'm not going to say no to that. But I'm going to tend towards liking it better like this. I just know me. I know how I feel about it.
My automatic freak.
And even like nudging it earlier or later off the grid is really important to get the feel right.
My automatic freak.
Like that sounds too early to me. I think it needs to be a little bit later.
My automatic freak.
Yeah, like a little bit behind the beat.
My automatic freak.
Even more.
My automatic.
Yeah, you can kind of, it's like, something like.
My automatic freak.
Maybe I'm not even, you know what? I might not be starting on the right downbeat. Yeah, that's a thing. Sometimes your clips are can get off of the timing with the arrangement view depending on what beat you start on. Definitely want to watch that. All right, so let's try this again. I was psyching myself out there.
My automatic freak.
There we go. That's what we want.
Inside your mecha.
Let's get all the rest of this laid out the way it's supposed to be. All right, so I Turn You On's the first one. And that one is different timing. Yep. I think they all kind of start on that upbeat before the third beat.
I turn you on.
Yeah.
I turn you on.
That one sounds a little late.
I turn you on.
Yeah. And then there's My Automatic Freak. This is weird.
My automatic freak.
All right. Is that a full 8 bars? Looks like it. Oops. Caffeine Fingers.
Every.
All right, this one's different. This one lands. You know what? I should probably comp this so that it's laid out on one 8-bar phrase instead of 4 separate ones that are messed up. What do you think? Should I make it easier for you, or should I challenge you to do it like this to show your skills and your discernment with the groove and timing for vocals? Yeah, I'm not going to make it easier for you. You do this.
Every night.
Oh, I have those backwards. This one goes here.
I turn you on. My automatic freak. Inside your mecha.
A little bit earlier.
Inside your.
Shh, this one's crazy. This one's longer again.
Inside your mechanism.
And 2 more bars. Or 1 more bar. Let's see.
Ever.
Yeah, that comes down on the 3rd beat.
Every night.
Yep, I think I got it. Let's loop that.
I turn you on. My automatic freak.
Now what?
Inside your mechanism.
Oh, mitochondria.
Every night.
This is borderline.
I turn you on.
Borderline.
My automatic freak.
I don't know. It's borderline.
Inside your mechanism. Every night.
I'm starting to think about, oh man, I need a heavy bass now, and I'm starting to hear like Doppler effect bass lines in my head, and that was part of the conversation with Anthony last time was how so many electro producers try to or want to sound like Doppler effect, and like that would work so well with this. But then, do I want to do that? Do I want to? Do that kind of more raw Detroit stripped down future funk, or do I want to do something heavier? Like, what about I could put like a big 808 boom underneath there and have it be more like Jeep beats or something. I don't know. I could also speed it up. So now that I have this laid out, I'm going to consolidate that and do what I said. and make it into one long sample.
I turn you on.
You know what might be interesting? Let's turn Complex Pro on and performance and pitch shift this a little bit.
I turn you on. I turn you on. I turn you on. My automatic freak.
Okay.
Inside your mechanism.
So much call and response
Every
possibility,
night.
back and forth possibility
I turn you on.
with these vocals.
My automatic freak. Inside your mechanism. Every night.
I want it to sound bassier. Like maybe it needs like a vocoder or just something to do like a deep, deep, deep sub underneath it. Just make it really huge sounding. I don't know. But I'm going to start with, it's so raw sounding. It's so harsh.
I turn you on.
Yeah, I want the fundamental of that voice to be like down here.
I turn you on.
I guess it's there.
I turn you on. I turn you on.
Get rid of some of that super harsh.
I turn you on. My automatic freak.
Whoa.
Inside your mechanism.
Acid bat. That's what that's what I want to avoid. It's like it has that vibe, right? Just because of what I made with this kick drum and that weird sound for the snare and then the phrasing of the vocals. But I want to sonically have it not copy too much of that era of that Doppler effect thing. I mean, it's some of you, if you want to do that, I'm not saying don't do that, but if that's what you want to do, it works and you do it well. I love it. Great. But for me personally, I want to have this be maybe a touch of that, but have some more of other kind of my style. I'm probably not going to get to all of that in front of you today, but you know, this is just a starting point, right? What to do with these vocals. I wonder, what if we go a little bit faster?
I turn you on. My automatic freak. Inside your mechanism.
I'm even changing the key.
Every night.
All right, here's an idea. At the end of the original version of this, there's that isolated synth sound. I could take that and put it in a sampler and do something with it.
I turn you on. My automatic freak.
Already just doing that is fun. Just looping the original. That's too easy, guys. You can't do this. You're not allowed. You have to do something more creative than that.
I turn you on. My automatic freak. Inside your mechanism. Every night. I turn you on. My automatic
I'm done.
freak.
That's it.
Inside your mechanism. Every night. I turn you on. My automatic freak. Inside your mechanism. Every night. I turn you on. My automatic freak.
Let's do some bass. Some modern, like, trappy bass. I'm just fooling around now. We're almost out of time. You got a few more minutes. All right, something more like that. Something more transparent. Let's see how that. Let's see how that sounds with the other thing. I'm just gonna layer.
I turn you on. My automatic freak. Inside your mechanism.
Let's put a clap in here.
Every night.
I'm gonna use the DS clap or DS whatever.
My automatic freak. Inside your mechanism. Every night. I turn you on.
All right, that's too loose sounding.
My automatic freak. Inside your mechanism. Every night. I turn you on. My Autofreak. Inside your mechanism. Every night. I turn you on.
Need a hi-hat?
My Autofreak.
All right. I'm just throwing shit in there without thinking about it too much. I'm going to refine this like I was talking about before to make it sound not too much like old school or Doppler effect copy. But just for now,
I turn you on.
just to get something in there, just to get some ideas, not thinking too hard about it, following my gut.
I turn you on. My Autofreak. Inside your mechanism.
Egregious flanger or chorus warning, maybe.
I turn you on. My Autofreak. Inside your mechanism.
I'm just getting more and more generic as I go. I'm just doing what's quick and easy for you guys just to wrap up the end of the show. I'm glad you guys have some ideas. Let's round out the end of the show. Let's just talk a little bit and see what you guys are into. David Bora is suggesting making the kick into a melody. Oh, for sure. Yeah, like with that sample. So, yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, so like making a bass line out of that. What would this sound like with some roar on it? What do you think? All right, so that needs to be, that's ugly. That needs to be monophonic, right? We don't want to. There we go. Now you can hear that it's totally out of tune. All right, that needs to be more interesting, different. I don't know. I like the stereo thing effect in the shards shaper here. Interesting.
Every night.
I'm okay with that.
My Autofreak. Inside your mechanism. Every night. I turn you on.
That's inexcusable.
Inside your mechanism. Every night.
All right, vocoder time.
I turn you on.
All right, we're gonna use the pitch tracker. We're gonna try. There we go. It's so funny when the pitch wobbles randomly. Oh wow, it got in tune. Oh, and now it went out of tune. Let's mix in some of the original. Got to stabilize that pitch or make it more crazy. I want it to go up and down. But I guess I might have to just do that with a carrier and do it manually up and down. I like the idea of it going, I turn you on, like having go instead of monotone like the original.
I turn you on. I turn you on. I turn you on. I turn you on.
Let me hear this with just the vocoder.
I turn you on.
Or even lower.
I turn you on. I turn
could play with the formant.
I turn you on.
Somewhere in there. We can use the original, or we can use the vocoder. And actually, I was thinking about that pitch up and down thing. You could do that with modulation in here. So I could go to the clip and go to transposition, and I don't know, just for the sake of...
I turn you on.
Yeah, see how it's messing up the pitch of the pitch detection in the vocoder?
I turn you on.
All right, and that's kind of weird.
I turn you on.
Right, one of those things. It's a little... I wish the pitch detection was a little better. Granted, this is a noisy sample, so it might need to do it, solve that another way. But yeah, I think we got a good start on whatever this is. I can't promise I'm going to keep this the way it is now, because it's still not exactly what I was thinking originally. It's still kind of retro. But, maybe I'll use some more modern kind of synth sounds, and some, how I mix it and polish it. And, all of that's going to make it sound more like Selway 2024. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. This is a really good start for this project. And just as a reminder, what did we talk about today, class? We talked about, we're doing a remix challenge, and the parts are just the only parts I'm giving you for right now is the vocal. You can join the Discord and go to the Selway feedback channel and grab that sample. I do think I'm going to make that more of an official sign up sometime soon. So if you go and you do the download and it doesn't work, just sit tight. I will fix it. And we've got a month. We've got at least 4 Saturdays from now. Let's say that's not... Let's go a little bit more in a month. Let's say like 5 Saturdays from now, schedule depending. I will officially announce what the live stream date is for the feedback session for the remix submissions, and announcing the winners. I will make sure everybody knows. And also, I got to line up some guests to join me. And yeah, you heard about the rules. You saw me get started on playing with those vocals, giving me a little bit of some tips about how to place the vocal samples, and just getting started. So I'm psyched. This is going to be fun. Thanks again to everybody for hanging out today. Looking forward to hearing what you come up with. And I'll see you next time. Adios.